Dear community, I never imagined I'd be reading my son's words to you. Words he wrote from his prison cell. But his voice matters, and I believe you need to hear it. Dear community, I grew up feeling like I was always behind, always disappointing everyone around me. Today, I'm writing to you from behind prison walls, not to make excuses, but to show you that even someone like me can change. I grew up in a Baptist household just outside of Sioux Falls with my mom, the woman reading these words to you now, my dad, and my 2 older sisters. Being the youngest meant that all blame fell on me for just about everything. It also meant that I had to live up to pretty high expectations that felt impossible to reach. I always felt like I was behind, that I was a disappointment, and that I couldn't amount to anything. What I didn't know then was that feeling like a failure would nearly destroy everything I touched. At the age of 15, I still struggled in school and I still got into trouble, but my self-destructive tendencies were much more mild. About a year later, I started dating my best friend. At 17, I was a co-leader at my church's youth group along with my girlfriend. I had some good friends, I had good summer jobs, and I was climbing the ranks at Taekwondo. Yet, I was still behind in school, and I was still getting in trouble fairly often at home. Finally, at age 18, I saw the solution to all my problems. I was going to join the Army. A lot of the men on my dad's side, including my dad, were in the military, so it seemed obvious that I should join. I also wanted to feel like I could do something with my life and make my loved ones proud, for once. When I found out I had nerve damage and heart disease, I was devastated. My career was over before it really began. I was medically discharged before I could make a difference. I was on my way back home to Sioux Falls. Severe depression kicked in almost immediately. Once again, I felt like a failure, even though it wasn't entirely my fault. I felt as if I let everyone down again, including my dad, my girlfriend, my country, and myself. Not long after I came back home, while depression was still eating me alive, I realized that it was time to take the next step and propose to my girlfriend of 2.5 years. Around August 2019, I leased my first apartment and bought my first car. I was feeling great again, like I had everything back under control and things were looking up. That is, until I decided to break off my engagement for selfish reasons, just because I wanted to experience what the world had to offer. My lack of direction and ability to stay on the right path is what brought me here, physically. My jealousy, my envy, my poor communication skills, my poor problem-solving skills, the bottling up of my emotions, and my need to fill holes with life-destroying substances like alcohol and nicotine all led me down a dark path that resulted in tragedy and the loss of an innocent life. Since then, I've dedicated my life to honoring that memory, to grow and change continuously, to be the man I promised I'd become. I've also dedicated my life to Christ, being a light in this dark place and proving that life doesn't end just because you're stuck behind prison walls. My desire to transform, not just survive, but truly change has been the catalyst to my growth over the last 3 years. I've learned to use the big heart I've been blessed with to show love and to make others laugh and smile. I've learned to use my determination to not just give up, even though I got sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Through all of this, my family, especially my parents and sisters, have never abandoned me. They visit as often as they can, write letters, send photos, and remind me that I'm still their son, still their brother. Their unwavering love has been my lifeline, knowing that they believe in my capacity for change, that they see the man I'm becoming, not just the boy who fell. That gives me strength every single day. Leaders of Tomorrow, just as impacted, provided me with tools I never knew how to obtain otherwise. Strength-based living made me aware that I don't have any real weaknesses, just areas I have to work on a little bit. It opened my eyes to what I'm genuinely good at and how to use those strengths to my advantage, for my growth and the growth of those around me. Toastmasters continues to allow me to work on my leadership, listening, and communication skills on a bi-weekly basis. The Start Now class took everything I'd learned in LOT and strength-based living and built on top of it, reiterating the necessary topics and hammering them into my head so they're harder to forget. The author of my life program provided me with the know-how to master my calendar, to be in control of how I spend my days, making more efficient use of my time to keep my forward momentum. All of these programs didn't just change my mind, they changed my soul. I went from feeling like a lost cause to knowing I can become a force for good. I believe everybody, incarcerated and free, should have access to transformation like this, should embrace the opportunity to grow, no matter their circumstances, before it's too late. What I'm asking for is more opportunities for programs that give men like me the tools to rebuild our lives from the ground up. It's easy to forget about the residents of prisons or to think of them as terrible people who deserve to be thrown away for good. That's how I used to think and feel before I became a convicted felon. Now I believe in second chances, a pathway for those in obvious need to get the help they deserve and for hope to be restored. A life without hope is no way to live. To take away someone's hope and leave them feeling lost is even worse. So I'm asking you, not as a convicted felon, not as a statistic, not as someone society's written off, but as a mother's son, to see us as human beings capable of transformation. When you vote on where our new prison goes and what programs it will house, remember this voice. Remember that behind every cell door is someone's child who could still become who they were meant to be. Support programs that build us up instead of systems that tear us down. Fund second chances instead of just second cells. I challenge you to believe in our potential, because my mother never stopped believing in mine. Thank you. This is my son. He made a terrible mistake that cost someone their life, and we carry that weight every single day. But he is also capable of redemption, growth, and giving back to this community. The question is, are we willing to let him try? It's easy to say we believe in redemption, but believing means very little without investment. These men are doing the hard internal work to change their lives. What would it look like if we did the same, if we stepped forward with the same courage they've shown? If our community claims to value second chances, then let's be the kind of people who help create them. Not someday, now. The question isn't, can they do it? It's, will we show up? Together, we can rewrite what's possible.